Everything will change from this, all right? We thought we avoided this situation 6 months ago, all right? We thought this was under control. This was going to be a massive global crisis 6 months ago when all this stuff popped off, but it was averted, all right? Fortunately, there was a United Nations deal and the crisis was averted, but now that deal has ended and everything will change after this, all right? So just to set the stage for you guys, all right, massive problems are happening in the United States food supply. There is drought. Farmers are being crushed with their harvest right now, all right? Over 75% of the United States winter wheat crop is in a drought-ridden area right now. So this is not looking good. This is as we have reduced crop yields, we have problems on the Mississippi River delivering grains. All right, this is a major grain exporting hub, the Mississippi River, for barges. All these different things are hitting our food supply right now, and now another big one has hit it. All right, so drought has stricken our crops, and we are going to see, we could see $10 bread from this. All right, I mean, I already see $4 bread, $5 bread sometimes. And if you're talking about like organic fancy bread, it's already $12, already $10, $12, right? But just normal bread, I'm seeing $4 loaf of breads, $5 loaf sometimes, all right? So it's about to get a lot worse, all right? So let's dive into these numbers and then we'll get into the big news, all right? So it says that they've planted a lot of wheat, but the harvest is grim, all right? This one farmer was saying that he planted over 4,000 acres of winter wheat, but he only expects to harvest 1,500 acres because of severe drought. All right, imagine the overhead cost for that, for all the seeds, all the fertilizer, all the everything to plant all this, and then your yield is less than 50%. I'm sure they anticipate at least, a few hundred acres not being viable. But planting 4,000 acres and only having 1,500 acres available is definitely a huge problem. All right, we're going to see wheat, grains, corn, everything is inside. This is inside of everything, all right? And something that, like, the media doesn't talk about or politicians don't talk about is how grain is eaten by animals, all right? So grain prices affect animal meat prices too, right? That's all cows eat is just grain all day long. So just to set the stage for you, this is what's happening in America. Farmers are under drought-ridden conditions and our wheat harvest is looking pathetic, all right? So I just wanted to set that stage for you because Russia has officially pulled out of this grain deal with Ukraine, all right? So this grain deal was allowing grain to export out of Ukraine through the Black Sea, but that deal has been suspended indefinitely due to an attack on a Russian naval base, all right? They said it was a drone attack on a Russian naval base, and this grain deal was due to be renewed in actually a couple weeks, so it was kind of on the edge already. We weren't sure if this grain deal was going to be renewed. I was already kind of speculating that it wasn't going to be. But now it's official, right? Russia is saying that they are not going to allow grain to be exported out of Ukraine through the Black Sea. So this could cut off potentially 10 to 15% of the world's grain. This is a huge blow. And even this article, it was saying that this grain deal has been keeping prices low. Right? It's been keeping prices low around the world because these grain markets are global markets. So what are we going to see? We're going to see the U.S. exporting even more food, right? And this also comes as we are putting more corn in our ethanol, right? So there was an executive order a few months ago to raise the percentage of ethanol in your gasoline, right? And this comes from corn. So we're just taking corn that animals could eat, humans could eat, and we're just putting it in the gas tank to keep the gas prices low. This is just like the oil reserves. Why are we... Somebody has to get paid. You know what I mean? We're just shifting the resources around. There's still not enough resources, right? There's still not enough corn, grains, all this stuff. I saw this farmer saying, this rancher saying that he has to raise his prices 30% just to break even, right? So he's probably raising his prices 40%, right? 50% possibly, because he knows next year it's going to be even worse. Maybe he's just trying to... It's too much, right? This is a shutdown of our global food system. We already know this, but it's been accelerating massively, all right? And what else is it going to take? What else is it going to take for our food system to break, for food to be so expensive that people can't afford it, right? They can't afford to buy, $50 steak or something. It's just too much. It's too much. And that's what we're heading towards. And that's how it already is in some places, some cuts, some regions, it's already that much. But that's what we're going to see on average very soon if this grain deal is destroyed, because pigs, cows, chickens, everything eats grain. I was already having trouble finding layer crumble, right? The past 2 weeks, or the past month, honestly, I've only been able to get the scratch, right? I haven't been able to get layer crumble for my chickens, only scratch feed. That's all that's been at the local feed store, right? So these shortages and these gaps are already hitting. But what happens next with this grain deal, right? This is going to be huge. And we're going to see prices skyrocket. We're going to see more empty shelves. We're going to see more shortages. But then a lot of less fortunate countries, all right, that can't produce what America can produce. We're very blessed that we can produce massive amounts of food. Even though that's being stifled, we're still producing massive amounts. There's some countries that really don't produce anything. They don't produce any food. They don't have the infrastructure. They don't have the technology. They just don't have it. And they depend on these exports and imports. And they are going to starve. A lot of countries are going to starve. Countries like Egypt, I believe it's a third of all of the Egyptians. All right, fix me if I'm wrong, but I remember reading this a few months ago. It's around a third of people are on government bread rations, and they depend on these daily bread rations from the government. And these are directly tied to these grain markets, right? Because if the grain just goes up 10%, you know what I mean? That's 10% less people eating. That's 10% less ration. That's, you know what I mean? It's probably even more than that, because everything is just exponential. It piles on. When there's a 10% shortage, everyone piles on and pays more, and it jacks up the price probably 20%, 30%, 40%. You know what I mean? It's not directly correlated, the shortage to the price increase. The price increase is always more than the shortage percentage, because people sense scarcity, and the people that have money, the countries that have money, pay more for it and jack up the prices even more. That's just economics. That's just how it works. So look out for this, guys. Everything is going to start raising in price next week. That's the point of all this. Once global grain markets clear after this weekend, once all this news filters into the markets, prices are going to go up. Future prices on grain markets are going to go up. It's all going to go up. All right, so look out for that. Get stocked up now, guys. Food, growing your own food. It's one of the most important things for a survival scenario, all right? Because, yeah, you can bug out, you can go somewhere, you can bug in, you can do whatever, but if you don't have food, if you can't grow your own food, you don't have enough food stocked up, you're kind of screwed. You're going to have to go do whatever you're told to do to get the food, all right? So thank you guys for watching. Stay prepared, stay blessed, and you guys have a big old blessed day.